Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to our Test Drive podcast number 31, if you can believe it or not. It's really flying by, all these podcasts that we do each and every Friday. It's been a lot of fun. I'm Lee Bodette, your host, along with Scott Nickerson from Sport Car USA.
How's it going, Lee?
It's going great. It seems like it's been a while since we've been sitting at the table doing one of these podcasts.
Yep.
Well, we've been rather busy, I would say, the last few weeks.
Yeah, I've been on the other side of the camera a lot recently with all the car shows
Yes,
we've
you
had.
have.
So.
You're the expert there. Well, let me tell you a little bit about me, if you don't know already. I've been a radio broadcaster for over 40 years. I host a series called Test Drive on the YouTube channel, and I'm the front man and host of Sport Car USA, and a car enthusiast my entire life. I also do a radio show on a local radio show here in Vermont and northern New York, WOKO. It's called the Sunday Morning Radio Flea Market, as people buy, sell, swap, and trade. Have you ever called into that show there, Scott?
I haven't. And how many cars do you get?
We get cars all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's one of those deals where you're limited to 3 items, and you can have 3 automobiles if you want. Just limited to 3 items. You can have package deals as long as it has one price, and no firearms are allowed. We don't get into that at all.
That's probably smart.
I've been hosting the show for 32, 34 years, something like that. And I've kind of backed down a little bit because I've been rather busy
doing this
with our podcast and Sport Car USA. So,
have you had any interesting vehicles trying to be sold in there, like some classics or anything?
oh, yeah. A lot of junk, but also there have been some interesting classic and antique vehicles as well. Of course, Sport Car USA, modern muscle cars. That's what it's all about. Sport Car USA, buying and selling. And we want to touch on also that it is October.
Yes.
A lot of people are thinking about putting their toys away. A lot of people are thinking, do I really want that payment for the next few months? Because in northern Vermont, it snows, it's cold, and you just aren't going to get your baby out until May. So if that's a situation where you're looking to maybe get rid of your sport car,
no matter where you are,
open arms right here at Sport Car USA. How does that process work, Scott?
Well, we have a couple different avenues you can go through. You can go right through our website, and you can call our sales numbers or anything like that. We also have any of our social media accounts that if you follow us there, you can reach out and we'll get you to the right person. We have lots of different people who are doing buying and kind of trying to find all these vehicles for us. So,
yeah, and we've met a number of people at the various car shows that we've been at, most notably like Lake George and the Waterbury Stowe in Vermont.
The show at the fairgrounds in Essex, we had a ton of people trying to sell their cars.
The National Street Rod Show, along with classic cars, and we did have a lot of interaction there. The bottom line is, if you're looking to get rid of your modern muscle car, or you know somebody, and doesn't have to be local, as Scott mentioned, or it can be around the country. We buy and sell around the country. Get a hold of us at Sport Car USA, and we would be gladly to put a number on it, and you won't have a car payment during the winter.
We love that.
That's it. We absolutely do love it. We've got a growing YouTube channel, Scott Nickerson. Almost 1,500 subscribers already.
Yeah, we've been doing quite a big push the last few months, and we've grown considerably. I know it wasn't that long ago. I think it was last week. We just made a video thanking people for 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
I think that was last week.
It was last week.
So we've grown significantly. We're putting out a lot of content even now. As most people know, the car show season's starting to wind down. We have a couple things that are still happening. I don't know that we'll be attending, but there's still a lot of car shows left. But in the winter is where we can kind of ramp up when it slows down for us going to these events. Lee and I get together and make a lot of cool stuff. So expect.
Yeah. We get together and we discuss the good, the bad, the ugly throughout the year. And there are some ugly out there, but there's also been a lot of good. Sport Car USA is really growing. We mentioned we have a warehouse at an undisclosed location. We're looking at another property in Vermont to store vehicles and possibly have a large showroom. But that's all down the road. It's been a very successful year. It's fall time in the state of Vermont, so we have a lot of visitors from everywhere, and I'm talking around the world, just
busy
coming to look at leaves.
You mentioned that's kind of a funny thing if you think about it.
It is.
It's beautiful here.
It is absolutely beautiful.
We're gonna have to take something out for a cruise next week.
Absolutely. And I told my girlfriend, if you ever see me get on a bus to go look at leaves, I want you to shoot me right now, please. Yeah. Shoot me, please. I just don't see myself ever doing that, but I get it.
Yeah, I think maybe we're a little bit jaded when it comes to it because it's, I don't know. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I grew up here.
I don't think I would travel 4 hours to go look at leaves.
I guess the local yokels get a kick. Hey, there goes another bus. Oh, that one is from Canada, and that one's from North Carolina, and they're all coming up to look at leaves.
Yeah.
But it is big money here in the state of Vermont in particular.
Yeah, we have a 2007 GT500, a red one. I sent you some info on it earlier in the week, and I think we should take that one out. It's bright red.
Yeah.
Be beautiful on the
great pictures.
Colors. Exactly.
We had a Shelby GT350, the orange and black one.
I think we still have it.
No, that's gone.
Oh, no.
Remember the orange?
Sell.
Yes, that did sell. And we brought it in the fall time to a cemetery, a local cemetery. Now, that may seem kind of strange, but if you get a hold of one of our calendars, it is a very cool looking picture. Leaves, all different colors and everything.
Yeah, it's perfect for our October month of the calendar, which is nice because that's actually what's up right now in the office. So. Yeah.
Another reason not to take me on a bus to go look at leaves is that I am colorblind.
Yeah.
So
it's not as exciting for you.
No, it's really not.
Look at all these gray leaves.
I go cruising around with my girlfriend or whomever, and they go, "Oh, look at the reds; they're very vibrant, and the orange." Oh, and I'm here looking like, yeah, yeah,
they all look the same.
Yeah,
sunsets. You're missing out.
Yes, I'm not completely colorblind. There's just certain colors, but like I said, look at the trees over there; they're nice and orange. I don't see it. I just don't see it. It really is. So that's a situation. Just don't ever ask Lee Bodette to go leaf peeping on a bus
or help you pick
in general.
A paint color.
What's that?
Don't have Lee help you pick a paint color.
No, that's really bad. That's really bad. But that's for another podcast. Yes. Absolutely. We got this forum that we have been kind of organizing to get ready. It is the end of our season, but we continue to work 12 months out of the year, getting ready for 2024. Wow. And as mentioned, we're always looking to buy and sell modern muscle cars all over the country. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. So we do stay busy, but we thought it would be a good idea to have kind of a local forum with some of the car groups that have attended Sport Car USA events and beyond. Tell us a little about that, Scott.
Yeah, so there's a lot of car groups in Vermont. I think Vermont especially is good for it because, like you said, it's beautiful. We get the leaves in the fall and year-round. It's never too harsh of a season when we have the cars out. Sometimes it's a little warm. But Vermont's a great place to have car shows. It's beautiful, and we have lots of groups spread out all over the state. So we kind of want to bring all those groups into one area and make it so that we can collaborate. So if you're having a car show this month at this place, then you can connect with someone who maybe wants to have it at the same place at a different time, or you've got your pool of people that come to car shows and you can bring those people in, and then car shows and the car community in Vermont can grow as a whole.
Yeah, it seems like everything continues to grow, whether it's Sport Car USA, but things affiliated with us, car shows and car rallies, car clubs. It never gets old.
Yeah, well, when we talked to the people from the NSRA, they said that their numbers are a little bit down at their show in Essex. And we did a cruise for the first time that they've ever had a cruise. So they're looking to kind of grow and add more things to their shows too. And I think that it can only benefit if all the different car shows in this area are working in collaboration with each other, like the NSRA, and it keeps those shows going.
I think it goes with any type of business, whether we're talking cars or whether you run, I don't know, a copying business. Yep. You can't stay stagnant.
Right.
You got it to absorb what's around you, the changes that may need to be made to your business. You just can't, do it like we did 20 years ago because everything's changed.
Yeah, and I think everything with this community of people who love cars is only stronger together. So I don't think it's good for any one group to push anyone away, and it's great for us to be able to collaborate and make these shows bigger and better for everybody.
Yeah, and as we know, our general manager, Adam, he's not stagnant at all. He's always forward thinking.
I don't know if there's ever not a project going on.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, no question about that. So we are on the YouTube channel. We have our test drive series. Of course, you're listening to the Test Drive podcast right now, but the test drive series where we get into a car, we go for a little cruise, we talk about the car, and that's been a lot of fun. This fall, we're looking to do that as well. You mentioned maybe that 2007 GT500, right?
Yeah, we have quite a few cars even coming in towards the end of our season, and we've got a couple of older GT500s, and we've got a lot of pretty unique, interesting pieces that we definitely need to get out on the road and put a few miles on, not too many.
Right.
But that 07, that red GT500, it's only got 1,600 miles on it. So I want to go take it out, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, that's it's a really low mileage vehicle. So we'll see.
And that's a car that we acquired, at least the initial contact was at the Lake George Adirondack Car Show. Gentleman came up to us. He said, it's just sitting in my garage. He had it on a lift, 1,600 miles, and that's...
After how many years? 16 years?
Yeah, I was just trying to do the math there. 16 years, and he just realized, why do I want to just leave it here? I'm not driving it for some reason or other. He just didn't drive it. He bought it and pretty much sat.
That's 100 miles a year average.
100 miles a year. So those are some of the rare beauties that we get at Sport Car USA, which is really, really cool. It's all about the stories. We've talked about that many times. And the guy didn't have a whole big story about it. He says, I just bought it and put it in the garage.
His loss, I guess.
Now it's our gain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that car out on sportcarusa.com, right?
Yeah, we'll do those test drive episodes where we're actually in there test driving. And then hopefully in the coming months, last year we did some that got some really good reception and we're pretty successful. Doing more of kind of like a dive into the history behind a lot of these vehicles. And when I was producing those shows, you and I were both learning things along the way.
Right.
Where we were like, oh, we didn't know that Carroll Shelby also worked for Dodge.
Chrysler,
Yeah, for Chrysler.
Dodge, yeah.
All these little facts that you find out when you're researching these things. So we've got a lot of new units that we didn't have this time last year. So we're definitely going to be doing that again, where we dive into the ins and outs of what makes these cars so special, more than just an engine and wheels and that sort of thing. So I look forward to those.
Yeah, and our research department's done a wonderful job.
They're fun.
It really is. Just delving right into the history and getting these little facts that you never even knew. And when we were at the Waterbury Stowe car show in Vermont this past year, talking to that lady and her husband about the gentleman who was one of the head guys in Cadillac.
Yeah, that super old vehicle. And he was from Vermont.
He's from Vermont, which is a tiny state, only 600,000 people here.
Right, and he was from a tiny town in this tiny state.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it fun.
Great stories.
You find stuff like that.
Absolutely. Calendars.
Yes.
We made a bunch of calendars for 2022. Our debut calendars have been a huge success.
They're gone.
They're completely gone. And this is the time of year where we have to get all of our photos together to make up the 2024 calendar.
Yep.
Scott's a little disappointed because we kind of overruled. He wanted to go with a 12-month calendar. I said, let's go 18 months because Scott is responsible for the pictures. So he's got to get a few more pictures. Shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. And I'm excited about the 2024 18-month calendar.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is when we did the calendar that was for this year, 2023, it was a little, not like a super last minute decision, but I wasn't taking pictures all year in anticipation for a calendar.
Yeah.
So now that we know we're going to do it again because it was such a big success and people love taking those calendars because, it's good for your shop or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm able to take a lot more photos that are specifically for the calendar. So we got a lot of really cool shots this year.
Well, we held a bunch of calendars out for the last couple shows that we did.
Yep.
And granted, it's getting later in the year. So some of us were thinking, nobody's going to want these calendars because the year's almost up. Well, you know what? It was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted these calendars because of the photography.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes it fun is you just have cool cars and it sells itself basically.
Yeah. So. This year we had a large calendar and a not so large calendar, not small, but I don't know what the dimensions are. Do you know?
Not off the top of my head. We had one that was much larger, though.
Yes. Do you know in 2024 are we doing the same thing, or are we just going to stick to one size?
I think our larger calendars, not sold, we were giving them away. Right. I think people leaned more towards those, partially just because the photos are blown up a little bigger and they're better for a shop. You can see them from farther away.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
The squares that you're able to write in, if you want to write your own stuff in your calendar, are also bigger.
And then we listed all the car shows around the country.
Right. Yeah, we kind of, as many as we could find in time to still produce the calendar in a timely manner. But if you're listening and you have a car show event that you'd like to put in our calendar,
absolutely,
definitely just give us an email, reach out any way you can, and we'll be sure to put it in there free of charge.
Yeah, before they go to print, let's get the information in. And I would also say, I'll throw this out there, that if you want to be one of the first ones to get a 2024 calendar from Sport Car USA, let us know. We'll get a list going.
Yeah, we gave away a huge chunk right at the beginning. We kind of did a social media campaign where if you want a calendar, you sign up for our newsletter basically, and you have a calendar.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking forward to that. Really am.
I know. I'm excited to see it all come together and all the pictures I've been taking.
Oh, yeah. Some really good shots this year for sure, especially, like you said, anticipating that there is, in fact, going to be a calendar in 2024. We didn't know that in 2022.
Yeah, we got some good stuff in there.
Yeah, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Merchandising. We really want to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
To get some merchandise out there, not just the really nice T-shirts that we've been handing out. We've got the polo shirts. We have some polo, what do they call those?
Just like a
windbreaker kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. But we really want to expand on that during the winter of 23 and 24, as we do have some downtime, not a whole lot, but things aren't as busy or as hectic.
Yep.
So tell us where we are with that.
Yeah, we went to all these shows, and anytime, I can't even count how many times it happened, we'd have T-shirts and stickers and things to give away on the calendar, and people would come up and they'd go, "How much for the T-shirts?" Well, I don't know. So many times people ask that.
Yeah.
And obviously we're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're free. They're a gimme." But that's the sort of thing where once that brand is kind of out there more, and we've had people who know about us now, like every year, more and more people just remember us and know us.
Yeah. Branding.
So those people want more than just our standard T-shirts. So I think down the line, nothing's fully ironed out yet, but we have all kinds of stuff that we'd want to offer as far as Sport Car USA merchandising. And even if we don't do it publicly, I'm going to make sure I get some stuff made for myself.
Nice.
So, and we talked about mugs. We'll get some mugs.
Gotta have a mug.
Hopefully next time you see this podcast, we'll have some Sport Car mugs right here.
Yes. I think it's all going to be great. It's a great looking logo, number one. It's got the... I know some of you might not even notice that the emblem there is the state of Vermont.
Yep.
In red, white, and blue.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, I didn't even think of that when we
Subtle.
first had these out for a while. It's like, red, white, and blue. Yeah, go, baby. And then it's like, that's Vermont.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's nice and subtle.
Yeah, very subtle.
And super simple and clean.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to put it on some merchandise. And when I'm looking at stuff, basically, if you can think of it, we can put our logo on it.
Right.
So any suggestions you have on things you'd like to see some Sport Car merchandise of, let us know. I know there's all anything you can think of.
Right.
So
he's Scott Nickerson. I'm Lee Bodette from Sport Car USA. We appreciate you listening to this podcast. One of the funny things that happened this past week is my singing. I never knew I was a singer. Now I'm a singer. I have no idea how you guys put this together, but explain to me what happened this past week with Lee Bodette singing two different songs.
I've got more.
Ring of Fire, and what's the other song I was singing?
Oh, it's a Sinatra song.
It's a Sinatra. Yeah, it's a New York, New York.
Yep.
And
because you're Yankees fans.
Yeah,
so naturally.
This is right after our Lake George visit. Of course, we had a good time there. I'm not going to lie to you. We had a good time there. And Scott would come up to me the next week and say, "Hey, you did a great job singing." I'm here like, "What are you talking about?" He says, yeah. When we were in Lake George, you were singing all these songs. I'm thinking, no way.
Hey, you don't remember?
No, I do not remember, and I'm hoping it never happened. Tell us what you did here.
So there's a software. It's called Voicify.
It's a riot.
Technology is crazy these days.
It is very.
A lot of people are scared of it. I love it. It's also a little scary. But I have a lot of you talking.
Yes, you do.
I have lots of recordings of you talking. I took a bunch of various interviews and things where I could isolate just your voice, upload it to this website, and then it generates an AI voice model of you.
Blows me away.
And I can just put a song in there, and then Lee Bodette's singing it.
I don't think I'm a horrible singer, but when I'm listening to those two songs, I'm not bad.
No,
I'm not bad at all. I don't know. Oh, like I said, it's incredible.
Yeah, so maybe I'll put a clip. Maybe I'll put a clip of a couple of those, a good 15, 20-second clip of those right in here.
Yeah, and it's got the background singers and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to play a little clip. I don't think legally we can play the whole thing, but
I'll do a short
we'll
snippet.
do a short sample size of the Ring of Fire. And what's the other one? Oh, New York. Yeah, okay.
I've got you guys had some good ideas though. You and Dave, the person who does our buying,
right?
about doing some Christmas songs. And I may or may not have a couple of those already.
Right. I bet you do. But I was playing it for some of the people, some of our staff actually at Sport Car USA, and they didn't know it was me. They did not know it was me.
If you listen close and you've listened, I listen to your voice a lot, so I know it was Lee Bodette.
Oh my goodness!
But maybe look out for a Sport Car USA Christmas album.
Maybe. What will they come up next?
Who knows? Maybe I'll be talking to Lee Bodette artificially next week.
Yes. We have to find out if it's legal to do this.
We'll look into that.
And if it is legal, maybe we'll sell the album and donate the money to charity. How about that?
That'd be great.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to work on that. SEMA is at the end of this month, Scott.
Yeah, we sent a couple people last year. Adam, our
Not
GM.
us.
No. Which is, I'd love to go, but it's a long trip.
Yeah.
Tiring. To Vegas. Whoa.
Tiring.
It looks like it's a lot
it looks
of walking.
awful to be there in Vegas. It really does.
But our buyer, Dave, went last year with our GM, and they did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
But they saw some really cool stuff. From what I hear, it's nothing like what you think it is, and it's even more exciting when you actually get to go. So maybe next year we'll go.
I hope so. One of my great SEMA stories of all time is listening to the Quinton brothers. Remember that? They came in here and did a podcast with us. Some of you may remember that.
It's a good story.
And they went to SEMA, and they're a high-end shop with horsepower, increasing horsepower, exhaust sounds, things like that. Again, they're the Quinton brothers. They're well known all over the country. And they brought a vehicle there that ended up getting stolen.
And then involved in a police chase. And
Yes, exactly.
Then wrecked.
Yes.
But they were able to get it back from the local PD.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's quite a story.
I think in the moment you wouldn't, but now looking back, it's just an absurd story.
Didn't they have that vehicle on display at the Champlain Valley Exposition in Essex Junction, Vermont? We had that street rod show.
It was there fixed.
And it was there fixed. Yeah. And they had a big sign, poster board that explained exactly what happened. This is the vehicle that went to SEMA, got stolen, police chase.
Yeah, and so they were there. They didn't have their own booth, but they were there with Pro Charger, who makes superchargers and aftermarket stuff like that. So they were able to get the car back from the local PD and then still bring it to SEMA covered in police caution tape and with the front smashed in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a wild story.
And you can go to YouTube to check that out. I don't know. What would you put in for YouTube for search?
If you just do like Quinton Brothers Stolen Challenger, something like that, you'll find it.
Yeah, you really should do that. And I think you'll find it very entertaining.
It was a beautiful car,
too.
Beautiful.
No
wonder they were able to escape for so long in the police chase.
Yeah, exactly. And
they built the perfect getaway car.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said at the time it wasn't too funny. Now it's... I know Quinton Brothers, they aren't laughing every day about this, but they have a little bit of a chuckle when they told us the story.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
There you go. Let's talk about next week's podcast, number 32. We're going to have a special guest. His name is Mason Maltese. He's really into vehicles. Tell us more.
Yeah, for the life of me, I cannot think of what his project car is, but that'll be for him to tell next week. But him and his wife, they're big gearheads. They love muscle. She's got a red eye. She's had Hellcats before that. He's had a GT500 that's sitting in our showroom right now. Love cars. He'll talk our ears off about them.
He will.
So he's got a project car that he's been working on for a while now, and it's still a project. So look forward to a super interesting story about a classic. I think it would be considered a classic car. But he's doing a lot of mods to it. So
yeah, and he buys more cars than I do, and let me tell you, that's a lot. I don't know. We're getting close, though. We're getting close.
Yeah, you just got another one.
I did get another one.
For your money.
Yes. So we won't tell anybody what I bought, but it's a nice car.
Yeah,
like it a lot.
Nothing exciting.
No,
regular car.
Yeah, it's a regular car.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap things up. Scott Nickerson from Sport Car USA, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to thank everybody for listening to our Test Drive podcast, this being number 31. I'm Lee Bodette, your host, and be sure to check out our Test Drive series on the YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on our next Test Drive podcast. And remember, let's never forget the men and women serving this great country of ours. Goodbye, everybody.